So, hi everyone, I'm Dr. Jill McGarry. I'm a consultant clinical psychologist that has specialised in sleep for quite a few years now. I first of all worked with people with learning disability and autism, and they had huge, and they do still have huge sleep problems. So, it helped me specialise in that area, and I've gone on to do some further training. So, hopefully, I am a great expert in this area to complement everybody else within the wellbeing team. And I think we hear people talk about yawning, we hear other people talking about your digital phones. So yeah, there's a huge crossover, but hopefully I'll be able to offer some more specialist help. Because what I do is I do one-to-one work with clients, and we really hone into what their difficulties are, because there's lots of information out there about sleep, but you don't know which bit is important to you. And you could try everything. And actually, if you're trying everything, you end up feeling hopeless and helpless. Whereas actually, if you get the advice that's really crucial for you, it makes you feel more confident and more able to put it into place. I often think of myself when I'm working on a one-to-one basis, like a sleep coach, like a personal trainer. You know, you don't give everybody as a personal trainer the same program. You really look at what that person needs and wants from the process, and then make sure they're engaged and support them through it and tweak it as need be. So I offer one-to-one sessions, but I also offer workshops for companies, because actually lots of companies realise now they have a health and safety need to fulfil around fatigue. So often I'll run workshops to help companies, especially those with night shift workers or those that are working intermittent shifts, or are doing one-off emergency care type work, so that we can make sure those staff are being looked after, because we know that if we don't get enough sleep, we make mistakes. We end up putting the milk in the oven instead of the fridge. We'll go upstairs and forget what we needed. Lots and lots of very small problems can happen in ordinary life. But if actually that happens in an important work setting, whether you mixing up chemicals or working with people with and their bodies, you know, those mistakes aren't as simple as just leaving the milk in the oven and it going off. We do know that people have died at the end of night shift working because driving home, they've caused a fatality, not just to them, but to other people. So there's a huge need for this. And I think when we're running the workshops, the staff recognise it, the managers recognise it. And then when people have their appraisals, they're more willing to talk about their need to improve their sleep or what the issues might be. And then we have an even better advantage, because what actually sleep does is it helps people to transition in conversation, talking about physical health, which often people don't mind, and sleep. Don't we all love talking about sleep? You only need to go for a coffee with somebody and you'll have a conversation about how well you slept last night. It happens to me all the time, even before I was a sleep specialist. But it means then once you've started having those conversations about sleep, it helps you move into conversations about mental health, which is all often far more difficult to do in an appraisal or in a conversation with between a staff worker and a manager, and even within a team. Because what happens when we don't sleep well, it actually affects our relationships, because we become more irritable and our ability to listen decreases hugely. So actually our ability to work as a team and have relationships that are healthy and good get affected. And then on top of that, you only need to add in some of the other effects of not getting enough sleep, in the fact that you feel more hungry and therefore you're more likely to put weight on. And then those are just the short-term effects. I could give a whole lot of the workshop details around what the long-term effects are for our health, which are massive. But all those factors, if I share them in a workshop, will give you an understanding about the benefits of prioritising your sleep, trusting it, valuing it, helping others protect it for you, but prioritising it. Because as we were talking about in other sessions, sometimes we don't prioritize it. We much prefer to be on our phones these days because they're so accessible and easy to use. So hopefully that's given you an idea of some of the work that I can do on workshop basis. But when it comes to individual work, it might be that somebody's got a very specific problem, like a hypnagogic experience, and that we can work through and solve quite quickly. It might be nightmares, it might be sleepwalking, lots of different problems that might need some support in lots of different ways. And for some people, it might be just really bad breathing that actually leads to them having sleep apnea. Sometimes they need the kit and sometimes they don't. So yeah, there's lots of help that we can provide within the work that I do for the Serious Wellbeing team.